5 things are happening right now that are quietly changing the future of normal people.
What now?
And most people still think these are separate problems. They're not. AI replacing jobs, birth rates collapsing, the internet changing human behavior, energy systems getting overloaded, and governments turning the economy itself into a battlefield. These things are all connected, and honestly, once you see how they connect, it's hard to unsee. Now, before people say, bro, every generation thinks the world is ending.
Daddy, chill.
Relax, this isn't a doom video. I'm not saying civilization collapses tomorrow. I'm saying the world a lot of people expected to grow up into is changing very fast, and most people still haven't fully adjusted mentally to what's happening. Because the scary part is this.
Go ahead. Make my day.
None of these trends are coming soon. They're already here. Let's start with the biggest one. AI.
Again?
Now, the internet completely destroyed this conversation because people only talk about AI in extremes. Either AI is going to destroy humanity, or relax bro, technology always creates jobs. But the reality is way more complicated.
No one understands!
AI doesn't need to replace every worker to massively destabilize society. It only needs to remove enough jobs fast enough to create pressure everywhere else. And that's already starting.
Oh, well.
According to Goldman Sachs, AI is currently causing a net loss of thousands of jobs every single month in the United States. Right now, not eventually. And the weird part is, which jobs are disappearing first? Because people imagined AI would first replace factory workers or manual labor, but instead it's attacking white-collar office jobs.
That's you.
Administrative work, customer support, scheduling, basic research, data processing, entry-level office work, the exact jobs young people were supposed to use to gain experience. Imagine graduating right now. You spend 4 years in school, maybe you take on debt, everybody tells you, go to college, work hard, build a stable future. Then suddenly the ladder you're supposed to climb starts disappearing while you're trying to step onto it. You send out hundreds of applications. Nothing. Because companies realize AI can already do half the work that position existed for. And here's the important part. Companies don't need AI to be better than humans. They just need it to be cheaper. That's it. If AI performs at 80% of a human worker but costs almost nothing, many companies will still choose it because businesses optimize for cost. And honestly, we're already seeing this happen everywhere.
Why is your eye twitching?
AI customer support, AI writing, AI editing, AI graphics, AI coding assistants. Even industries people thought were safe are starting to feel pressure. And eventually, yes, AI probably will create new jobs. People always say that. But here's the problem. Nobody talks about enough. The people losing jobs and the people getting the new AI jobs are usually not the same people.
Oh, no!
A 45-year-old office worker doesn't magically become an AI engineer overnight. There's a skill gap, a time gap, a financial gap, and during that transition, real people's lives get damaged. Now here's where this connects to the second problem. Birth rates collapsing. And honestly, I think people oversimplify this conversation too much. Some people blame everything on the economy, others blame younger generations entirely.
OMG! Yes!
The truth is probably a mix of both. Yes, housing prices, inflation, unstable jobs, childcare costs, and economic pressure absolutely matter. A lot of young people genuinely feel like building a stable family life is harder than it used to be. But culture changed too. Modern society constantly pushes this idea that life is mainly about experiences, freedom, self-fulfillment, travel, entertainment, and consuming as much as possible before settling down.
You just keep choking it.
People are told don't have kids yet, travel first, enjoy life first, focus on yourself first. There's still time. And for a lot of people, that mindset stretches further and further into adulthood.
He ain't lying.
Social media amplified this massively. Every day, people open Instagram or TikTok and see influencers traveling the world, living luxury lifestyles, chasing experiences, showing freedom, showing status. Meanwhile, family life often gets portrayed as stressful, restrictive, exhausting, or financially impossible. That affects people psychologically whether they realize it or not. And honestly, some younger people absolutely have become more individualistic and consumption-focused.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Not everybody, but definitely some. People delay responsibility longer than previous generations did, then suddenly they're approaching 40 and realizing biology doesn't wait forever. Now here's why governments are panicking about this. Modern economies depend on population growth. More workers, more taxpayers, more consumers. But when birth rates collapse, countries start running out of younger workers supporting aging populations. So governments increasingly look toward immigration to fill labor shortages and stabilize the economy. But here's where this becomes extremely complicated, because immigration doesn't just affect economics. It affects culture, identity, religion, social trust, shared values, social cohesion. And this is where many Western countries are now struggling badly. Because bringing in large numbers of people from completely different cultural backgrounds creates challenges politicians often avoid talking about honestly. Integration becomes harder. Communities become more fragmented, and sometimes cultural values simply clash. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean immigrants are bad people. Most are just trying to build better lives. But societies function best when there is enough shared trust, shared expectations, and cultural compatibility for people to cooperate smoothly. And when economic pressure is already high, social tensions grow even faster. So the birth rate issue is not just economic, it's cultural, psychological, ideological. And honestly, I think this is going to become one of the biggest issues shaping Western societies over the next 20 years.
And you know this, man!
Now, while all this is happening economically and culturally, something else is happening psychologically. The internet is changing people, and I don't think society fully understands how serious this is yet. Because social media didn't just change communication, it changed incentives. Algorithms learned something incredibly important over the last decade. Outrage performs better than peace. Shock performs better than balance. Conflict performs better than nuance. And degeneracy performs extremely well.
Yeah, baby!
Think about it. The average person now wakes up and immediately consumes information designed to emotionally manipulate them. Fear, anger, humiliation, political outrage, doom scrolling. The algorithm doesn't care whether content is healthy. It only cares whether you keep watching.
Wake up to reality.
And honestly, once you realize that, the internet starts looking completely different, because suddenly you notice everything is optimized around keeping your attention trapped, even when it's making people miserable. And children have now grown up inside these systems their entire lives. Entire generations are being psychologically shaped by recommendation algorithms. Not parents, not teachers, algorithms. And this affects everything. Attention spans collapse, people become more polarized. Everything becomes tribal warfare. Men versus women, left versus right, young versus old. Nobody agrees on reality anymore.
If you've got an ass, I'll kick it.
And honestly, I think this is one reason modern life feels mentally exhausting now. Human brains were not designed to absorb global outrage 24 hours a day. But now let's connect this to something most people never think about when they hear the word AI. Electricity. Because AI is not magic, it's power consumption. Massive power consumption. Every AI image, every chatbot, every AI video, every generated voice, all of it runs on gigantic data centers consuming absurd amounts of electricity. And by 2030, data centers could consume a massive percentage of global electricity production.
Feel the power.
Oh, I can feel it.
That's insane. At the exact same time, governments are pushing electric cars, digital systems, smart infrastructure, automation, cloud systems, crypto systems. Everything now depends on electricity. But power grids in many countries are old, really old, and they were never designed for this level of demand. So what happens when demand rises faster than infrastructure? Prices rise, and this is already happening in some places near large data center projects, which creates this bizarre reality where ordinary people may partially pay higher electricity bills because giant AI systems are consuming enormous amounts of energy 24 hours a day.
What?
Think about how ridiculous that sentence would have sounded 20 years ago. Your electricity bill is higher because millions of people are generating AI anime photos and fake voice clips. But that's reality now. And finally, the fifth problem: global instability. Because modern conflict is changing too. For most of history, wars mainly happen physically. Now economies themselves are becoming weapons. Trade wars, tariffs, sanctions, technology restrictions, supply chain disruptions. Countries are fighting economically now. And when the battlefield becomes the economy, everybody gets hit, even people living thousands of miles away.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
Food prices rise, energy prices rise, housing pressure rises. Everything becomes more unstable. And honestly, I think this is why so many people feel permanently squeezed now, even if they technically still have jobs. Because the entire system is under pressure from multiple directions at once. AI pressure, economic pressure, housing pressure, energy pressure, cultural pressure, political pressure, and ordinary people absorb the damage from all of it. You didn't automate the jobs, you didn't design the algorithms, you didn't create inflation, you didn't start geopolitical conflicts, but you still pay for all of it anyway. Every grocery trip, every rent payment, every energy bill, every shrinking opportunity, and honestly, I think deep down people can feel the system changing around them, even if they can't fully explain it. Now, this video is not about hopelessness, it's about awareness. Because the worst position to be in during massive change is surprised. The people who adapt first usually are not the smartest people. They're the people willing to accept reality earlier than everyone else. And pretending these trends aren't happening won't protect anybody from them. AI is happening. Population decline is happening. Algorithmic manipulation is happening. Energy strain is happening. Global instability is happening. Right now, not eventually, and once you realize these aren't separate problems, you start understanding why modern life feels unstable for so many people at the same time. The world is changing faster than most people expected. The only real question is who notices early enough to adapt.